What's cracking? Alright guys, welcome to Anna's Place Bakery. Today we're gonna talk about a little Christmas cake. We're gonna be making an orange cake with some eggnog buttercream. So we're gonna first start off with our cakes. And this is just a plain like yellow cake. And then we're gonna add the orange juice to it, and so it'll be pretty moist. But we're first gonna cut off the tops to make them even. So you just get your serrated knife and cut it however thick you would like it. What we're gonna do is we have this plate and we're gonna pour in some liquid, some orange juice into our cakes so that it keeps that moisture in, and then it's an orange cake. So here we have our prepared orange juice. It's orange juice and water and sugar. So I'm gonna just pour it into this so we can have, so it can be a little bit easier to pour onto the cake. And we'll just pour it on slowly so it can just soak in. All right, so while these are soaking, we've soaked all three of these now. While they continue to soak, we're gonna make our buttercream, and it's gonna be an eggnog buttercream. So here we have our beautiful KitchenAid, and we're gonna add 2 cups of butter. And that's what is going to be mixing. We're gonna mix that and cream it for a little while before we add anything else. All right, so we're just gonna turn this on and have it be mixing the butter and creaming it, softening it up while we just get everything else ready. All right, so this is looking really good now. We kind of want the butter all to be mixed together, and we want it soft. So, this is what it should look like, okay? And we'll just scrape down the edges. It's really important to scrape down the edges so that there's no butter chunks left, because no one wants just a mouthful of butter when they're eating a cake. I don't want that. I mean, maybe there are some people that do. Okay, so now we're gonna add our powdered sugar, and we add about 8 cups, which is about a whole bag if you buy the 32 ounce, 2 pounds. And I like to add mine in very slowly because my KitchenAid likes to spray things everywhere. So I'm gonna add a little bit, probably about a cup of powdered sugar. And then we need about 2 tablespoons of cream, heavy whipping cream. So I'm just gonna measure this in the cap. This is about a teaspoon. So we'll add about 3 right now, 3 teaspoons, which is 1 tablespoon. And my KitchenAid is very temperamental, so I'm just gonna be going back and forth on the stir mode so my powdered sugar doesn't go everywhere. Okay, we'll add a little bit more powdered sugar. And this time I'm gonna add the eggnog. And I'll put this recipe up and make sure that it's exactly what I've told you. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this. And I'll add just a little bit more of my whipping cream as well. Okay, so this consistency, I mean, it's looking really good. It's nice and smooth, but I think I want my buttercream a bit more airy. So I'm gonna add some more buttercream and some more powdered sugar. We have a whole thing left, so we're gonna keep adding. But just remember to, every once in a while, just scrape down the edges so that you get all the extra powdered sugar, any extra butter clumps that didn't get mixed in. Just scrape down those edges. I always seem to make a mess with my powdered sugar, and it gets all over me and my table, so, but that's the fun of it. It means you're really baking. All right, this looks really good. I will lift up my bowl in just a second and show you what this looks like. So it's gonna be more runny just because we have the eggnog instead of heavy whipping cream. We have more eggnog in there. The eggnog is creamy, just not as thick as the whipping cream. So here we have our buttercream. Okay, and we can also taste it. It's really good. So we are going to get ready to assemble our cakes. So I really like to use, this is my favorite kitchen tool, I think. I love the small spatula. I do have this one, and I have a larger one. I don't usually use the larger one. But I like the small one because I feel like I have more control. And so we're gonna start off with our cakes. And we're gonna put on a little bit of glue. So we'll put some frosting on the bottom to glue our cake on. And we will stick this on. It's very, very moist. It feels beautiful. And we'll just spin this on a little bit. And spread it all throughout the middle. And so this is the time where you can, if your cake layers aren't very even, you can even it out with this buttercream. It's just easier if you cut them first. All right, that looks pretty good. So now we'll put on our other one. And for these next ones, I like to put them with the bottoms up. And so it gives you that nice square edge. So I'm gonna pick the one that I feel like has the best edge for the top. So I'll use this one as our middle. And you can kind of squish it down. Push on top. We'll spin some more of this on. We're gonna do the next layer of frosting, which is what we call the crumb coat. And this is the layer that locks in all the crumbs so that we don't get any crumbs on our finished product. Just sliding around. It's too moist. Oh no. Oh, this is really bad. We might have to freeze these a little bit. All right, so once our cake is out of our fridge, we are going to add the final coat of buttercream. And we want to make this kind of look like it's in the mountains on snow. And so what we're going to do, instead of making a smooth buttercream layer, we're gonna actually add kind of like waves, okay? So the motion is gonna be like this or like this, okay? And on the side, it'll be like this. All right, so we have our buttercream. And what you can do is take some on your spatula, on your rubber spatula, scrape it off. And we're gonna just add a little, before we add the texture, we're gonna add this layer on, just so we can cover the whole cake in buttercream. All right, so now we have our cake covered in buttercream, and we're going to add some texture to it now. And so you can do this with a spoon. I'm just gonna do it with my spatula still. And I might, at times, grab more just to add that extra texture. So, because I might scrape it off like I just did with that. So we're just gonna make random designs. Kind of make it look like there's a little blizzard coming. Kind of like a C shape you could do. And if you need more, if you can see some cake, just go ahead and add some more buttercream. And then we'll do that as well to the sides. And you're gonna kind of wanna pull out from the cake like this, bringing the tip of the buttercream out with your spatula. All right, so for our toppings today, we have our cinnamon sticks, our roasted oranges, and these, you can put them in the oven at 275. Slice them pretty thin. This is, I would say, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And roast them at about 275, flip them every 30 minutes or so, and bake them for about maybe an hour to an hour and a half. And then we have our cranberries here, our fresh cranberries, that we're also gonna stick on top. A few pine cones, our pine needles, and then some powdered sugar for our snow dusting. So we're gonna get started with first setting up our pine needles. And we can look and see what we want to be the front on our cake. So this is going to be my back right here. So I'm just going to start putting some of these on, just to make a little, I'm gonna make it kind of like this, like almost a crown on top of the cake. So what we're gonna do with these pine cones, we're gonna cut them a little bit and take, I guess, kind of have pine cone topping. So the top, I think, is looking pretty good. I'm gonna add a few little things on the bottom, I think. And I'm going to need some buttercream just to stick it on. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my spatula and my cranberry and just get some buttercream so that it can stick without rolling away. And I'll probably do that again with this one. All right. If you don't have a sifter, that's okay. You can just put it in your hands and sprinkle it over. I just like to have a sifter. All right, so I'm going to put this on the bottom so when I pour it in, it doesn't come out on my cake yet. All right, and once again, we don't need a ton of powdered sugar. So we'll remove the bottom, and I'm just gonna hit the sides gently. And there we go.